Hey y'all, paristv here. Welcome back to my channel. We're back with another video. So today I'm coming on to talk about the truth about marriage. So if you don't know, I just had my wedding anniversary, which is also my birthday. So I call it my birth anniversary because it's on the same day. So I want to come on and talk about the truth about marriage because that just happened. So if you're a newlywed or you're about to get married, let me know your thoughts, but let's just jump into the video. The truth about marriage. So the first thing when it comes to marriage is that it is consistent work. It is a lot of compromise. It is a lot of continuously getting to know each other. Me and my husband met in college and we've been going strong ever since. We have had bumps in the road, as all couples do. We have dealt with things like all couples do. But the biggest thing is that we get through things together. Not without, we take out the world. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest factor of just keeping a strong, solidified marriage is working problems out amongst each other. Communication is key. That's with any relationship. Communication is going to be key. And just continue to remain steadfast to your vows. What you say on that wedding day is not just for show. It's not just to say it, but you have to make sure that every day you keep in mind what you vow to that person. And then, of course, for me, I know I have a strong faith, so I do keep God at the center of my marriage. Get married, you are marrying for the long haul. You're not marrying just for the glitz and the glam of the day. And I know a lot of people get caught up on that, but don't. Don't get caught up on just wanting a wedding day, buying a dress, having, the celebration, because that's after that day, I mean, it's over and it's done. You don't get that celebration again. So make sure you're married for the right reasons. Not just, like I said, for the glitz and the glam and things like that, but you are actually marrying the person that you want to be with, that you want to spend the rest of your life with, that you see yourself with. The end, that's who you have to deal with. You know what I mean? I feel like it's so simple-minded when people get so caught up and so fixated on social media relationships. Because you never know what people are going through when they go home. When you go home, you have to deal with each other. You have to literally sit in each other's faces and deal with each other. And that's the biggest thing. I know that for me personally, I have been blessed enough to find my soulmate and my best friend. Like, we both have issues, don't get me wrong. What person doesn't? But the same when you say you're so perfectly imperfect. But you have to learn to accept the good with the bad. And you just have to learn that if the bad has been continuously outweighing the good, it's time to maybe reevaluate some things in your marriage. See different ways that maybe you can change yourself or your spouse can change. But there's nothing wrong with change. And that's a big factor in marriage, is that you are going to have to continuously change. You're not going to be the same person that you were 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Everything should be an advance. Everything should be growth. You should not be retracting to your old ways, but you should be building each other up to be the best people that you can. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be tearing each other down. Another thing is that things are going to change. I know for instance, I know I'm not the same size I was in high school or even in college, but when you're married to someone who really loves you, those kind of things don't matter, because you're not marrying for the physical, you're marrying for the heart, and you're marrying for that person, not for, the outside features. Yeah, the outside features are great. That's a bonus. But if you can't look beside that, I mean, that's a problem. And I think what goes hand in hand with that is that you have to pay attention to the red flags. If you're genuinely not happy going into a marriage, you're not going to be happy in the marriage, because marriage is just, it just changes the name and changes the status, but it doesn't, you don't wake up the next morning and you're like, you don't just wake up the next morning feeling like this new ecstatic person. Like, you're still you and your spouse is still them. So like I said, if you're not happy going into the marriage, you're probably not going to be happy in the marriage. So before you jump into something like a marriage, make sure that you are really just sitting down and evaluating, is it something that you want? Not just about her, him, but is it actually something that you want to do? Because that's huge. You have to continuously make sure that you are making each other happy and catering to each other's needs. And the biggest thing that also goes with that is you cannot forget about yourself. You cannot forget that you have needs. You are also a person, and that your needs have to be met as well. And that just because you're a wife or a husband or whatever the case may be, you're still your own individual person. You know what I mean? You grow as one, as you should, but at the same time, you're going to have marriage goals, and you're also going to have independent goals. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should have someone who is supporting your independent goals just as much as you guys are supporting your marriage goals. So that's a key factor as well. You cannot be afraid to be vulnerable with your partner. That is supposed to be the person you can tell all your secrets with, who's supposed to know all your weaknesses, your strengths, the good, the bad, the ugly, and honestly, without judgment, without making you feel bad. And, be there for you no matter what you're going through. Because that should be your frontline person above anything else. So, of course, God is always your frontline person, but right below God, you should carry yourself as, it's my husband, my wife, then my kids, or whatever the case may be. Each other. You really do. And this world is already hard enough, and you shouldn't go home feeling trapped with whatever situation you're in your marriage. You shouldn't go home feeling trapped in your marriage, is what I'm saying. Because the world is already trying to eat you up and spit you out, and you should go home, and that should be your safe haven. I know when I come home, it's like no matter what's going on, I come home I can take the weight off my shoulders, and I can feel peace in my home, and I can feel peace when me and my husband encounter each other, and it doesn't feel like, we're continuously stressing each other out, or he pisses me off when I see him. Like, that needs some counseling, you know what I mean? And there are going to be things that, some couples do go through, but just make sure that you're getting the help you need. Make sure you're seeking the things you need, because marriage is work. That's why I want people to understand. It's not just something you just wake up and do, and it's just like, hey, I'm a bride. No, it's work. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of patience, compromise, sacrifice, understanding. It's work. But the beauty of it is, if you're with the right person, that work is going to pay off, and you will build each other up, and you will build something so beautiful that, all that work is worth it. So just make sure that when you're marrying, you are putting the right amount of work into the right person for the right reasons. Anniversary coming up. I just wanted to touch on that really fast this year about, the truth about marriage is that it's not easy, but it is rewarding. It is very rewarding to love and get love back. I think that is one of the most beautiful feelings in the world, and I just know that for my life and for my marriage, there's nothing or no one that can replace that. So yeah. You're a bride to be, good luck to you. Just know you have to fight for your marriage. No one else is going to fight it for you but you and your spouse. Remember to keep things marriage sacred. Keep each other sacred, and love one another. Be good to one another. Cherish one another, and keep God first, and you'll seek everything through. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.